I declare the congregation open.
Let us give thanks to God, the Creator of all, for this university and for all who study and work within it. We remember those who had the vision to found the University of Keele. Let us pray that the tasks of education and research may continue to be carried out with integrity. Let us pray for all those gathered here today and for those graduating this week, that their gifts may be used in the communities in which they live, that the world may become a better place. Let us pray that God will give us strength and vision, and may grace be given to us to thank God for all.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to what is a truly auspicious occasion. This ceremony marks the start of Keele University's graduation week, and graduation is, of course, the high spot of the academic year at Keele. It marks not just the achievements of our graduates during their time at Keele, but also a key moment in their lives and in the lives of their families and friends. But graduation in 2012 is of special significance for the university, for it marks the 50th anniversary of the award of our university charter in 1962. The year has been one of special events and celebrations to mark this occasion, although, as most of you here will certainly recognise, this is of course our second 50th birthday, for 1999 marked the Golden Jubilee of the establishment of the University College of North Staffordshire in 1949 as the first post-war university in the UK. Beyond these two reasons to celebrate, though, there is a third, for this ceremony provides an opportunity to recognise the achievements of a very distinguished group of our graduates, not just in graduation, but in a lifetime of achievement. We have here today graduates from Keele's first ever cohort of students who graduated in 1954, and from those students who graduated in each subsequent year through to 1962. Our 1962 graduates are, of course, our golden graduates this year, and it's in your souls that the university that is Keele is embodied. You are not simply Keele graduates, you are Keele. I feel deeply privileged to be in the presence of the whole university's history and heritage, and there can be few Vice-Chancellors who've had such an honour in their university. Keele's journey from 1949 via 1962 to today has been an interesting ride. From the original vision of Lord Lindsay of an institution defined by its principle of the pursuit of truth in the company of friends, to its 2012 position as one of the UK's leading campus universities, the journey has not been straightforward. Periods of considerable success and profile have been interspersed with periods of challenge and threat. In the 1960s, for example, Keele was the model for the generation of new universities, such as Essex, Sussex, Warwick and Lancaster, which were established following the Robbins Report. But by the early 1980s, however, Keele was high on the list of institutions for closure, reportedly targeted explicitly by the Thatcher government, reflecting perhaps not only its financial challenges, but also its reputation for radical ideas and perspectives. This threat, of course, was survived, and our success over our whole lifetime has therefore been remarkable, and we were delighted to be recognised a few weeks ago as being amongst the top 100 of the world's best young universities, according to the Global League table compiled by Times Higher Education. I don't need to tell you this, of course, but achieving a Keele degree is something to be very proud of. Our current students, our past students and alumni and employers all rate Keele programmes very highly. That tradition was embodied in the foundation year with its unequalled breadth of study and insight, which is almost always the focus of huge enthusiasm from alumni that I meet. While the foundation year disappeared in the 1980s in the wake of strong financial pressures, the traditions of breadth and innovation remain in the distinctive feature of Keele today, that most of our students still study dual honours, and also in the distinctive Keele curriculum that will roll out from October 2012. This will see all our students include within their studies, alongside their strong disciplinary specialisms, key themes relating to employability, environmental sustainability and internationalisation, as well as foundation skills in leadership and management that will be formally recognised by the Institute of Leadership and Management. But the wider experience of being a Keele student is also valued. Keele is a strong, welcoming, friendly and supportive community, and the friendships made and the experiences shared last for life, as I'm sure you can all testify. We are always considerably moved by the passion and support our alumni express for Keele, and there is independent evidence that the affinity Keele alumni have for their university is third only on a national scale to that shown by Oxford and Cambridge graduates. These are difficult times for the global economy, and there are many ongoing issues that we shall face over the coming years and decades, ranging from health issues to poverty, to the social, economic and political issues arising from globalisation and from issues such as climate change and environmental impact. Universities, I believe, have a key role in responding to those challenges. In an economy like the UK, our success is dependent on our creativity and innovation, and universities produce not only highly skilled graduates, but also cutting-edge research that generates the business, environmental and health developments of the future. You will no doubt hear some sections of the government or the media contend that we produce too many graduates. And I suppose it's no surprise that a university would contend otherwise. But the reality is that it is graduate-level thinking that underpins our economic future, and that the UK is still some way behind the world's leading developed economies in terms of the numbers of graduates it produces. What's more, graduates will continue to earn higher salaries and have better health and life expectancy than non-graduates. It's not yet clear what the changing regime of student fees and government funding of higher education will have on universities, although most universities have increased the number of applicants compared to 2 years ago. There's been much debate around the high student fees, but little coverage in the media of the fact that government direct funding to universities for teaching will be reduced by 80% by 2014-15. And higher fees simply go some way towards replacing that reduced funding. At Keele, we shall sustain our strong commitment to ensuring we provide access to students who have the ability to benefit from a Keele education, whatever their background, so that 1/3 of all our students in future will be supported through scholarships or bursaries, and our efforts in widening participation will continue strongly. At the same time, we shall continue to invest in excellent student facilities, whether accommodation, teaching facilities and labs, or student social space. We've invested over £115 million of capital over the last 10 years, and the latest phase is the remodelling of Union Square and the Student Union, which you will have noticed on your way into the chapel today. This is now close to completion and will be ready for the start of next academic year. The changing and challenging context of higher education at present is ensuring all universities look very closely at their plans for the future. At Keele, we feel confident that the high quality of our education and research will enable us to fulfil our strategy of continuing to be one of the UK's leading campus-based university communities. We shall continue to be about 10,000 students strong, drawing undergraduates, postgraduates and staff from a broad international background. But we shall also emphasise two other very important themes. Firstly, we are strongly committed to ensuring that both our graduates and our research have a positive impact upon the communities we serve in addressing real social, economic and environmental issues. Secondly, we're committed to environmental sustainability, not only through our research and teaching programmes, but also through our plans to be carbon neutral and self-sufficient in energy sources by 2020. The new Keele Sustainability Hub, which occupies the refurbished farm buildings you will have passed on entering the campus, and our appointment of Jonathan Porritt as our new Chancellor this year, underline that commitment. At the start of my speech, I commented on the pride I'm sure you feel in your achievements. The university shares your pride on this auspicious day. 50 years after the establishment of Keele University and 62 years after the original University College of North Staffordshire was founded, we believe that our graduates from every cohort and every decade continue to be an excellent advertisement for the distinctiveness and quality of a Keele University education. I hope very much that you all enjoy the rest of today. I know in speaking to many last night, the whole weekend has been very welcomed and much enjoyed by colleagues who are here today. And I look forward very much to welcoming you back to Keele on many future occasions.
Over the years, it's been a great pleasure to see Keele develop into a great British university. It was my good fortune and privilege to be a member of the first intake in 1950. I cannot envisage that I could have had a better and richer experience for the years ahead, and I give huge thanks to Lord Lindsay and those who inspired the founding of the University College of North Staffordshire, now Keele University. Now a 1960 view of Lord Lindsay. Lindsay may well have been one of those men who have greatness thrust upon their memories because of work set in motion rather than immediate impressions they make on their contemporaries. Keele, for Lindsay, was a small, although very brave, venture. While he was there, it was a small college with less than 300 students, the rather precocious dream child of Lindsay's old age, but it expressed, almost to perfection, the kind of man he was, a significant 20th century figure, a great academic reformer. Two of his convictions were to connect higher education with the current problems of the community, and that university subjects should give a better insight or introduction to the intellectual problems of the contemporary world. The medieval historian Toot quotes, "Universities are associations of scholars and students, teachers and taught, whose ideal is to make the life of learning and science possible, whose greatest function is the advancement of learning. The true measure of academic progress is the part that universities take in the advancement of knowledge and the part they play in training students in original investigation." I suspect Lindsay would have shared these views.
All summer, rain fell in Staffordshire, almost continuously churning up the red-brown mud of the building site, with the result that Keele mud soon became legendary. When we started, it was still raining, and Bruce Williams, the professor of economics, with characteristic Australian kindness, more or less dragged us to the shops to buy Wellingtons, the first equipment needed before doing anything on campus. I went down a narrow, muddy path on either side of which sloped a row of asbestos-covered huts, rain-soaked, wind-blown. Lindsay spoke to us in what had been the ballroom of the old hall, a beautifully designed L-shaped room. The crew bus lurched up the hill from Newcastle to deposit me at the main entrance. As I walked down to the center of the campus, little did I realize that this was to be a life-determining moment. To my left, iron railings and a field full of sheep. To my right, plain fields, library, chapel, Walter Moberly Hall, and the tawny building were the beached whales surrounded by shoals of ex-army huts. I was interviewed by Jack Charlton, the professor of classics, and in the absence of any other academic that co-opted his secretary to help interview this potential recruit.
Between 1950 and 1962, Keele established its place in Britain's education system, joining that small group of, unbelievably, 19 universities in the UK. For Keele's 21st anniversary, Sir James Mountford wrote, Keele, an Historical Critique. He ends his book with this: "In the world of universities, there are many mansions. There is no conceivable curriculum which is universally valid. One may be preferable to others for some purposes, in some circumstances, and for some students. But there's no mistaking the fact that Keele, a pioneer, has carved out for itself a distinctive and enduring niche. Whatever expansion there may be in the university population as a whole, whatever may be the pressures for what is currently called cost-effectiveness, whatever devices may be evolved for bringing the various sectors of tertiary education into close relationship with one another, there must surely be a place for at least one institution where the kind of outlook and the pattern of existence which Keele has exemplified and fostered are maintained. Keele is more than a page in a textbook of educational history. It is a living thing, and its duty now to itself and to university education as a whole is to do all it can to ensure that its own distinctive quality is not lost amid a tide of uniformity." Well said, Sir James.
Vice-Chancellor, I present to you these graduates from the classes of 1954 to 1962. The founding graduates, class of 1954. Edward Derbyshire, Margaret Harvey, Harry Heaney, Margaret Heaney, Roy Jervis, Bill Patterson, Pam Patterson, Jim Preston, Jean Robinson, Peter Robinson, Anna Swiatek, David Thompson, Bob Wilson, Leonard Woodford, and Georgina Baker. Just give them a clap.
class of 1955: Marion Derbyshire, Richard Float, Alan Halfpenny, Brenda Jones, Gurnos Jones, Bob Miles, Gordon Musk, Muriel Stubbs, John Wheeldon, Douglas Winter, and George Witherspoon. Joe. The pioneer class of 1956. Keith Clement, Barbara Corns, Ray Fuchs, John Groom, Joan Heinecke, Stuart Phillips, Mary Phillips, Alan Stockley, Fred Thomas, Sheila Thomas, John Whitehouse, and Alan York. pioneer class of 1957. Margaret Baker, Philip Baker, Mary Bianco, Sue Bobath, Patrick Campbell, Richard Clark, Leslie Dunn, Bill Hanna, Chris Oliver, Marina Oliver, John O'Sullivan, Pam O'Sullivan, David Paffley, Barbara Ryder, John Smith, Don Tarling, Anne Walton, John Wayland, Kath Wayland, and Dion Webb. The pioneer class of 1958. Mavis Addison, Joan Barham, Norman Bertram, John Carey, David Clark, Dot Davidson, Joyce Jackson, Noreen Plevin, John Sutton, Barbara Thomas, and Jack Thomas. Dot Bell, Margaret Bound, Christine Kavanagh Mannering, Pauline Hannah, Joan Price, Mary Reed, Anne Richards, Brian Richards, Jane Sims, Barry Wetton, and Sheila Whitehouse. Pioneer Class of 1960. Susan Adams, Barbara Alcock, John Alcock, Arlene Hanson, John Johnson, Jim Pierce, Peter Reed, and Tony Scrace. pioneer class of 1961. Colin Adams, Jill Biggins, Steve Biggins, Clive Borst, Sheila Everard, Laurie Fletcher, Jenny Jones, John Mack, Ola Pothoda-Decker, Alan Self, Brian Webb, and David Yates. And in this year's 50th anniversary, our golden graduates, the class of 1962. Joe Batt, Jill Bonham, Keith Bonham, Kath Carey, Gary Cowley, Jim Farquhar, Fred Foskett, Mo Hayhurst, John Ioannou, Anne Parker, Foster Rogers, Cliff Smalley, Sue Smalley, Jack Telling, Christine Wayway, David Winter, Peter Worsley, and Alex Witherspoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure to have the chance to meet you and to recall Keele of the 1950s and 60s. I hope that we'll see you again at future events, and we'll give you the date of the centenary celebrations to go into your diary. I declare the congregation closed.